What is good, everyone? I'm Keith Jackson, FAAMA's Director of Membership Education. It has been far too long since we've been here to give an update, particularly on the legislative side of things. And to help me do that is our very own Victor Vasquez. He's our Director of Legislative Affairs. Victor, how you been?
Good. How you doing? How's
Good,
everybody doing?
man. Yep, everything's been good. I have a new appreciation for kids and sports schedules, and particularly a single parent or stay-at-home mom that has to rush three kids around. So that's been the life for 3 months. But you've been very busy. We just got over, or should I say, we just got done with our legislative fly-in not too long ago.
Yeah. So about towards the middle of May, we had about 12 members of FAMA, a mix of new and veteran ledge members go to the Hill, and they were advocating a lot of legislative stuff for FAMA. Um, So it was very successful. We had about over 75 congressional offices that we met. There's kind of key staff from the Transportation Infrastructure Committee, Appropriations Committee, and House and Oversight Government Reform Committees in the House and the Senate. So it was very successful. One of the things that we were shared that was everybody in everybody's mind was the experiences of the shutdown that we all had. So we there was a lot of great stories that we shared, not great as in good, but like just perspective that we shared. And all the offices that we talked to were very sympathetic to the situations that we had and experienced. So, um, but the things that we kind of shared with everybody were we were advocating for the Aviation Stability, I'm sorry, the Aviation Solvency Act, which is similar to a previous bill that we had, the Aviation Stability Act, but a little bit different, just a little in the way it kind of funds, taps into a different resource to keep us funded in the FAA. So that was the main one that we kept talking about to go along with everybody's experiences. And then we worked pretty hard to try to get some kind of traction on the Alert Act or the Rotor Act. Obviously, the Alert Act has more details from the NTSB findings, um, so we were just trying to get more movement on that. So that was pretty good. And then the other one is the Military Transition Act. It kind of streamlines the process for Department of War slash DoD controllers to transition into the FAA. It's pretty easy for somebody to go to USA Jobs and apply for a 2152 slot for Department of War, but the transition back is not as seamless. So that's one of the things we were advocating for there. A couple other bills was mental health act that we were kind of working on to raise awareness, and then aviation weather safety improvement act, which helps funding for the National Weather Service people that help us make all our decisions in the FAA. So that was kind of the main things that we talked about on the Hill. So we were able to build a lot of relationships there that we can bring back and share with everybody. Um, but the biggest surprise that we had was Administrator Bedford joining one of our social events. That was pretty cool. We thought it was just going to be a, high and by type situation, but he sat there and talked to us for almost 2 hours. And we were able to kind of share our perspectives from the management ranks and ask him questions. So um, it's been a couple months now since we had that, and they kind of a lot of stuff that they kind of mentioned have already come to fruition. They talked a lot about NSEP. They talked a lot about making sure supervisors take care of themselves and take their breaks. And we saw that from the memo from Dale McNeil. And then towards the end of our visit there, they invited us to FA headquarters to show some of the technology that's being worked on. And so that was a lot of members were really happy about that. So that's all the recap I get. Did I miss anything there, Keith?
I don't
Or
think I don't think so. I mean, you definitely the docket seemed very, very full for, particularly going into an election year, when you have the House and the Senate, everyone, even though it's not for the executive, it's these years are always, interesting to see what direction they go and what energy there is in Congress. And no, I mean, speaking of energy, though, it doesn't seem like, at least right now, based off of a few pieces of legislation, such as two continuing resolutions that are going through the House and the Senate right now, it looks like there doesn't appear to be an appetite to have any kind of lapse in funding, at least until after the election.
yeah, no, yeah, like exactly like you said it, like everybody has the last shutdown in mind, like fresh in their mind, so they're not interested in experience that again. So I'm very happy that everybody's excited to kind of move through and not have a government shutdown again. So we'll see what happens then.
Right. Absolutely. And I know a few people have asked, and it's, I think, something that we can try to help shed some light on as far as how do people get involved in these legislative fly-ins. And the first thing I've encouraged people to do is to try to reach out to members at home and get involved at the local level first, and just see what goes on with as far as your local rep.
Yeah, so kind of the first thing, if you're interested, ask for help, right? We have a lot of people that have a good amount of experience and are very knowledgeable. So every chapter has their chapter president, every chapter has their region, and there's a good amount of people that are trained thanks to you, your chapter operations training. Ask for help and we'll connect you to the right people. You can reach out to me, legislative at FAAMA.org, and I'll connect you to the right people or help you myself. And then, just get to know who's your member of Congress. Start there, and we can get you connected with them, get you in a Zoom meeting with them, share your thoughts on what you're experiencing, and then you kind of work from there. Help other people, and then next thing you know, you're in front of the Capitol taking a picture for FAMA. So
Right. And as far as you also had a really fun thing that you put together in trying to help people get involved. It was a you had a legislative roadshow that you did earlier this year, and it looks like you're going to be going after it again later on this year.
yeah, exactly. So we had one, I think, in February. No, I'm sorry, in March. So the next one we're having is kind of middle to late November. Trying to get one in before Thanksgiving, and it's a very detailed explanation on how to help out legislative wise. You'll get a good foundation of knowing all the ins and outs of Congress, understanding like the priorities of FAMA, and how to reach out to your member of Congress. So this is just kind of bringing the training to your living room. All you need is internet connection and a phone or an iPad or a desktop, whatever you prefer, and then you'll be able to talk to us directly, to some of our people in DC as well. Um, and then for the first time in next year, we're trying to expand our flying to include more members. So we're still working on details. Hopefully, we'll get more information at convention, and then we'll share it then.
Yep, it's there's a lot that's going to be going on between now and that point in time, and the Mike Smith's working hard along with our convention to get that all done. And speaking of which, the price for convention goes up again at the end of this month. If you can only go for 2 days, hey, still come out. That's what I've been telling everyone that's been looking, going, hey, I know leave is tight. I know, staffing constraints may be there, but if you have a Monday, Tuesday off, a Tuesday, Wednesday, I'd say, hey, come down, see what you could get out of your chapters for help, because any 2 days is better than zero, in my view, right, Victor?
Absolutely, and I'll be there, so you can reach out to me if you see me there and say hi.
Yep. And what we do know is that a lot of senior leadership from the FAA will be down at the convention. They are making every attempt to be there like they do every year. Particularly, 2 years ago, we had a lot of them there, even when we had a hurricane come in and crash the party, literally. So, Victor, is there anything else you wanted to touch on legislatively? Anything at all?
Nothing right now, but if you have any questions, like I said, feel free to reach out, legislative@fama.org.
Yep, and you'll see all that linked in the description below. And those things that are coming up again, convention is right around the corner. In fact, it's, gosh, 2 months almost where we kick that one off. Next year, we will be having a ledge fly-in again, and hopefully in conjunction with chapter operations training sometime around the Mayish area. We'll have more information for you about that at our convention. And at the end of the year, sometime in November, watch for that legislative roadshow to come marching in again. Until we see you guys all again, or you guys can get involved again, I'm Keith Jackson. He's Victor Vasquez, our legislative director. And we'd like to thank all of you for tuning in. We've got more that will be coming out between now and the end of the year, particularly in a few weeks. I am hoping to have a chapter operations, not training, but more of like a town hall. Anyone that's in a position like, such as president, vice president, or even if you're interested in getting involved, watch for your emails, watch the social media feeds. We'll have more information for that. Until then, everyone, adios.